Hi there, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to continue Volume 15, Episode 10 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac Scrapbooks. And today we're really going to be just going over a little hodgepodge of stuff. Some of the stuff matters more to me than it would to you, a viewing audience, but there's still some kind of cool things in here. And even though I said we're finished with Enchanted, there's still some kind of, not really lingering, kind of lingering things. And then we're going into just a little bit of 99. And then we're going to go into the Pondering the Millennium shows, which will be in the next video, I think. But I want to start off, I'd be completely remiss if I did not wow my audience with these amazing outtakes that I found of my own pictures. And I just want to start with them right here. You can see here. I mean, this one, you don't need the Hubble telescope to see that that's Stevie from the Andre Agassi benefit. I mean, wow, right? I think I should just delete all my videos and just leave this one up because holy crap. But I don't know where these were, and I don't know why they're not on my page. I think even this one is actually, that's almost a face you can see there. Pretty impressive, huh? I just opened a box of stuff and I'm like, holy crap, like you can see her. You can make, yeah, there's almost a face there. You can almost see like, I stopped joking now. So some of the stuff that I had from 1998, there was really funny. And, I also talk about things that I will come back to because there's this box that's always in front of me that I always keep out of camera range because it's a complete dumpster fire of it's together, but it's all over the side of the table here. And there'll be videos that I'll be coming back to, circling back to where, pages that I finished from Wild Heart or Rumors or, who knows, but things that, I just didn't finish in time when I started the videos. And so things that I'll come back around to. And these kind of things will be pages, but they're not going to be that impressive. So I probably would just not show them. So even though they're kind of not impressive even right now, they're just, again, still things that were from 1998. And me, and I love clippings. And this literally just has her name on it. There's a few mentions, but this was journalism right here, guys. This is impressive as my photos. So you can see why this video is, I should just dub this video like humdrum, you've got to be kidding me stuff. Finest journalism here. And if you couldn't see on there, there was the worst casualty of their excess Eagles we're talking about was Fleetwood Mac singer Stevie Nicks, who got pregnant by drummer Don Henley and felt pushed to have an abortion, says the author. Some person wrote a book on the Eagles and decided that this was worthwhile to drum up again for the gazillionth time to make a dime on, right? And when Stevie became pregnant, no one doubted Henley was the father. The situation was resolved, according to Elliot, when Nicks had an abortion. According to friends, she was deeply upset about what she considered his easy consent to her decision. Nicks took it as Henley's way of saying he wasn't interested in any type of serious long-term commitment. And here I am, maybe I'm no better, adding this into a video, but it just, can you stop being a dead horse kind of thing? Granted, this was 1998, but it still does get brought up in articles. And it's like, is that where we're at with an artist's work, And might I add, as this video is going, live, we're just hearing about the awful, death of Rob Reiner, being a fan or not. It's just, things like certain things happen to people. And in this case, I'm not comparing exactly Stevie and Don Henley to that situation of Reiner, but, where their legacy is overshadowed by occurrences in their lifetime. So it's like, it's going to be a really long time probably before people, talk about Rob Reiner as being, from All in the Family or from doing Princess Bride or A Few Good Men to being that guy who got killed by his child, possibly. I don't know the facts. Everything I've heard, it's all news today. But, it's that kind of thing. And that's how I feel about this situation here is that, for so many periods and so many articles of Stevie, since the time that came out, her career and her person was overshadowed by a stupid fact that's nobody's freaking business. And it's not mine, but I'm talking to as a fan to you guys who are also fans, because we would not just, I don't think we would go out and try and make a dime off something like that. It's just, that is not the person. What those people do, their political beliefs, their sexual beliefs, their religious, it's none of our business. if we admire them or we don't, and what they do, and it's just one of those things that just drives me nuts. So that's why I'm making a joke, and also why I say that this, possibly, we'll make it into a page. But is it important? Is it something that I have in my collection? Of course, because I like to have everything. But it's just some bullshit. It's just fodder. It's just complete fodder. And yeah, was that my daily rant? Was that my soapbox moment? I think so. Moving on, this was this really nice photo that I just tossed out of my hands of Fleetwood Mac accepting their acceptance into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Or was this? Yeah. And they had Peter Green there that time. Now, this is another bone of contention here, was the whole absence of Bob Welch, which, if you heard me and seen in my other videos, I think that was just really an awful thing. And I know that it's not up to Fleetwood Mac. I do believe that members had made, comments and such. I can't quote them. Somebody out there who knows will find video if there was a quote. But that, they don't believe that he should have been overlooked, but the Academy believed that he should be overlooked because he was not in the band long enough. Just, But anyway, there was this photo, and this photo would go with, articles that I have, such as this, where it's virtually just their names mentioned. It doesn't, give us any great insight to them or anything like that. Just the fact that they got not put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, entered, whatever the word is I'm looking for. There's this little piece here, this little tiny article. And then there was this one that was really cool to have a photo, at least, of the band. Well, Stevie and Lindsay, I should say. Actually, again, kind of a dig that they don't put the whole band, but that's just me. And then this continued on. We're showing the whole band, but this is also a hard article for me to put in a page because it's ginormous. It's it's the size of my scrapbook pages, as you can see. So I have to figure out how to get that into a book somehow. Maybe just like I've done in the past, to just kind of fold up the bottom. Pardon me, but at least they were, the whole picture was here, and I think there's a little bit of an insight to the band. There's a little bit more about them in this article. There's actually quite a bit more. So it was nice. But, most of the things that came out were just, noting who was being inducted. That's the word I was looking for, entered. Who was being inducted, how many years, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So that was just my little, and also it was noted, I'm bringing this up because, of course, someone had pointed out that I was incorrect, and I think I'd put a picture from the induction in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 97, but it was 98. So my bad. Again, going in 98, just kind of ending. There was, I don't think I showed this. I did. I showed this article, But there was that. This was from 99. This was actually, this was earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I don't have the little thing on the bottom. And I have a poster that my dear friend got me last Christmas, actually. Poster or something. She got me the poster of this Rhiannon card. And I forget what year. Oh, it was 36. Stevie did this artwork, or she had originally released it as such. But then there was a whole big resurgence where Stevie had done it and she'd signed it for 1999. There's a whole bunch more of these. This is a copy. I've never had one of these in my life, but I was given this whole poster, and it's freaking beautiful. And my best friend, who I love dearly and I've known since high school, got that for me. And this girl gets me the gifts. I mean, there's my friend Dawn that I talk about all the time, who's also my best friend. I have many. But then there's this girl, like I told you, I've known forever, and she gives me amazing gifts every year. But she's really never gotten me anything like Stevie related, and something like I didn't have, because that's hard to do. It's hard to get me something I don't have. And then to get that poster from her, and which was not cheap. And I'm not bragging about that, but just like it's something I've kind of passed on because I haven't been able to get it. And when I opened that up, I about bawled. So that was really cool. And that one was, again, from the 1999. So this, like I said, was just a really nice copy. And, I would like to get the one where Stevie had signed it for real. But it's a nice, copy of the item. And I guess that's why I thought I hadn't shown you, because I forgot that this was on the back of this going into 99. And then, again, little pieces that I just, I didn't think you'd be so interested in, but there's, it's relevant content, I guess. As I think I have told you about the Belladonna Ball. Now, I lived in the Bay Area, and there was an amazing friend that I had made, and her name's Kat. I don't remember her last name. I feel this big, and I'd love to know where she is because I lost contact with her and her wife, Deidre, and I loved both of them to death. They were just amazing people. And they put on the Belladonna Ball, and it was a party, kind of like Night of a Thousand Stevies, but that's a whole thing that's been going on since '91. But it's kind of a tribute. It happened around Stevie's birthday. There was that for a while, and then Daniel had come out with a really great party called the Wild Heart Affair, which pretty much happened right after Kat finished doing these. And this was a hodgepodge of photos from that event. But the reason I'll bring it up more than just being my personal memories and such like that for Stevie content is this young lady here is Elena. How do I say her name right? Elena Bernal, I want to say is that correct name. And that young lady had won a contest in 1999, I think, 99, for Fanatic, MTV's Fanatic, to interview Stevie Nicks. And Kat, who's the one who put on the Belladonna Ball, see if I can get that good so you can see her, had invited this young lady. I don't know if she lived in San Francisco. It seems to me that she lived in Los Angeles and might have just flown out. But Kat was trying to make it kind of interactive and such. So there was kind of a Q&A with her. And, it's just somebody who had met Stevie. And we asked her lots of questions, and she kind of talked, up on the stage, which is here, about, the ordeal and entering and winning and having the moment and stuff like that, which is really cool. And then afterwards, these are pictures of everybody up on the stage dancing. That is my friend Dawn, who get brought up all the time. And this young lady, who you can just kind of see a profile of, is the young lady that we helped smuggle the camera pieces in. That's the other friend of Dawn's that we took all those pictures of from Enchanted that I'd shown recently. And again, Dawn, Elena, and then you can hardly see the friend here that I mentioned. But yeah, and this was just the little banner she had in the back. This was another little banner she had made, Kat had made. But Elena was really nice. I mean, she kind of felt, bless her heart, she kind of felt like, like a mini celebrity herself, as she should. I mean, it was really cool, right? But like, as she's up there talking to people, she's telling, so I met Stevie and, I got you and stuff. So, we had all seen the show by this time. I'm sure I'm positive it had aired. And, so we were talking to her, and it was just kind of funny. Like, she's up there and it's like, oh, this is going to be great. She's going to talk for like an hour. And like after 15 minutes, she's like, well, I kind of know how much else to say, But anyway, so I wrote on this little part here, because this page is old. I made this page like early on. Dear friends, Kat and Deidre, sorely missed as we have lost touch a while back. Kat hosted 5 Belladonna Balls, 3 of which I was fortunate to attend. The young lady with the basket was Fanatic MTV winner to meet Stevie, Elena Bernal. And then this was the invitation. And then on the back here, going into 2000, kind of skipping a beat, but I don't want to bore you guys with this, was just really more pictures. But there was 2, oops, sorry, that was my mic. There was 2 pictures. That's me. You can just barely see there. And then this is me and my ex-husband here, the wonderful and incomparable Naeem, amazing human. And that is me who, as you can see, likes to wear things that make me look as large as a house, because that picture should be a freaking wide view. Jesus. But it's the only one I have, so I put it there. It's okay. This one doesn't look too bad. My head's chopped off, but what are you going to do? And then Elena as well. Dawn doing Stevie Aoki. Dawn, her friend, took the photos. Elena, I'm not sure who these people are here in the back here. Dawn again, looking freaking adorable. And then my little comment here, actually I'll read a couple things here. All photos are from the 1999 event. So even though I have the 2000 invitation, the final Belladonna Ball was at a place called Cafe du Nord in San Francisco, which is an amazing little speakeasy. And it looks as old as it really is. It's beautiful in San Francisco, like downtown San Francisco. The places they'd had it before were kind of out on the outskirts of San Francisco. And as you can see, that says Cafe du Nord there. And it says here that I do not have any photos from that event. I do, but it's just one of my mother and I. And if I can find that, I'll just show you, because even though, again, it's unrelatable, well, it's relatable to Stevie, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm sitting on this great, beautiful couch that looks like it's also been there since the time of the speakeasy. It's just something else. And then I'll wrap up this video with this little excerpt, which is really cute. Kat's event got written up in a San Francisco magazine. And it says, "Wouldn't you love to love her? While some people are out commemorating casualties of war, certain other people will be inside celebrating the birthday of Stevie Nicks at the 3rd annual Belladonna Ball, a night of DJ'd music, Stevie Oki, and a prize raffle featuring rare Stevie merchandise and perhaps that new 3 CD box set." The Fleetwood Mac diva was born in 1948 in Phoenix and studied speech communication at San Jose State. But Nicks nuts already know that. The real diehard fans will also be able to answer questions like, is Stevie really a witch? Answer no. And did Stevie ever have a drug problem? Answer yes. She spent a month at the Betty Ford Clinic in 1986 to treat her decade-long cocaine habit. The celebration, a timely kickoff to the summer solo tour dates Nicks recently announced on VH1, begins at 9 p.m. at the Coco Club in San Francisco. So that was really cool. She got a little write up there. So that is that for this video. Again, not too much Stevie content, but some. But my next video, I'm super excited to show you, was my venture to the Pondering the Millennium shows, which were in 1999. So we'll have those. But again, I just don't want to hold out on you guys. I just want to show you these one more time. Hopefully you all have a sense of humor with me on these. And thank you so much for joining me. And everybody have a great night. We'll see you next time. Bye.